Hi everybody, welcome to YS Kong Driving again, and today we have with us a car that a lot of us have been waiting to review. We finally managed to get, a Perodua Axia, and this is the style variant which is third in the hierarchy from the lowest up. I think there are another couple more on top. As you know, the Axia is in the category of cars where it's like first time buyers buying a car, because this is really entry level. Of course, there are other cars that are available in this price category. And what we're going to do now is we are going to give this car a quick walk around, and of course we're going to take it up Genting. So stay with us. Okay, first off, let's take a look from the outside of the car. And this is an entry-level car. Wheelbase is 2455 mm. So wheelbase is the center-to-center distance of the front and rear wheels. I like the color. This is a very nice color, and it's metallic. And the good news is you don't have to pay extra. Now at the front you have the nose that is very Perodua. It's hard to tell this from a Myvi looking in isolation. And actually the size of this car is about the size of the previous Myvi. The new Myvi has grown slightly bigger. And actually, if you look at it very carefully, if you look at the cladding along the front and then along the fenders and all the way down to the bottom and through the rear axle, the arch, and all the way across the rear, doesn't it remind you of something? This is the type of cladding you would find in an SUV. So this one, maybe it's a crossover, but nobody has mentioned it as such. I would call this a crossover because it has all the claddings there that make it look like it could go and do a little bit of off-road. Now in terms of length, this is 3.65 meters long, 3650 mm, and it's also 1.6 meters, 1625 meters wide, and the height is actually high. It's higher than the Passat. It is 1525 meters high, and so if there's one thing you will not lack in this car, it will be headroom. Okay, and then the weight of this car is only 865 kilograms. Now that's what a Corolla weighed in 1983. That was the weight of a Toyota Corolla then, the front-wheel drive LE, if you remember. It was 840 kilograms then. And at the back you have a LED combination lights, and there you can see the crossover cladding that spread over the back end. And this one kind of reminds me of a Nissan, or Renault, with a little diffuser light thing at the back. And of course there's the Perodua sign here. This is the new Perodua sign. And then you have a rear wiper, which is good, high stop lamps, and also you see a little antenna. I think they call this a rat tail, I'm not sure. This is also a rear spoiler that is good for the rear passenger, because not only does it make the car look nicer, it also helps to keep away the sun on a hot afternoon. So it extends the back part like a sunshade. And these lights are LED combination. They are the white type. And this is the spec. Is the Axia style. And of course you have also a door opening handle for the rear, which is good. Okay, so basically that's the car at a glance. And of course there are those little rails on the roof, which makes me keep on thinking of this as a crossover more than a hatch. Okay, we've just opened the bonnet, and yes, this is quite a lightweight bonnet. It's still steel material, but it's quite lightweight because it's small. And of course there's that normal little propping stick that helps to prop it up. And here is the engine. Now this one, it doesn't say so in the catalog or the leaflet that was given, but this looks like a 3-cylinder engine. This is a 1-liter engine, and you can see here on the intake here, 1, 2, 3. So Here is the drive-by-wire throttle body, which is good. Okay, now this engine has VVTi, yeah, so it's got variable valve timing. That gives it a bit more flexibility in power, in a power band. And then what they have here is they have some kind of a vortex system to lengthen the flow of air going into the engine. Yeah, maybe to streamline it or what, but it seems to be some kind of a twirling effect caused by this intake manifold. Now the exhaust manifold is also very interesting. There's only one outlet coming out in the middle of the block, and it seems like the cylinder head also has all the channels for the exhaust from the exhaust valves to come out and meet here at one central point, and it goes out through the exhaust manifold, and there's a big cat converter right in the front. So if you want to decat your car, you know where to look. Yeah, it's right at the front here, the little cat converter there, and the oxygen sensor. Now elsewhere, you want to know, the air cleaner is pretty small. You can see here on the side, this is the air cleaner, a small element, which means it'll be easier to service and quite cheap, because the engine is actually quite small. And the good news is, if you ever get caught in a flash flood, here is the intake. This is the intake. This is the intake hole, yeah, where the air, it goes into the air cleaner. So it's relatively high up in the car. And where is that? That's about good 2 feet up in the, okay, here it is. It's about 2 feet up, yeah, looking at the car. So it's way above the tire. Technically, yeah, it's about 4 or 5 inches above the tire. So technically you can go up to where the tire is and still survive, provided you don't float away lah. Anyway, don't do that, yeah. I just wanted to show you the height of the intake for our KL residents, so you know that this car has a high intake hole, so it's less likely to get water hammer jam in the flood. The only thing that can happen is this car can float away, so do not attempt crossing more than 5-6 inches. Even up to a foot is okay, yeah, but anything more than that, you risk your car being floated away. Now another thing of interest is the engine is all aluminum, which is very good. It's lightweight, and it's a double overhead cam, yeah, and of course it's fuel injected, right? So it's quite a good engine. And then the gearbox is on this side, and together with the battery to balance the weight. Okay, so shock absorbers, the front suspension is McPherson strut, and overall I would say this is a pretty good engine. Should be very reliable because it comes from the Daihatsu, which is also in the Toyota family, yeah. And from what I know, the steering is supposed to be electrical steering, but I can't really tell, so maybe the unit is in a different place. Yeah, it's electrical steering, and I suppose that's about it lah. Okay, yes, the brake servo is pretty big. There's a big servo down there. And what is this? Oh, it's a small little ECU for the engine, so it's quite high up too, so it's pretty good. So that's it, guys. The engine, which has all of 68 PS at 6,000 RPM, and maximum torque is 91 Newton meters. Not very powerful, but I think enough to move 860 over kilos of weight. Okay, here's another look at the car from the front. Looks pretty nice, and we're going to have a look at the wheels and tires. Now, these are Hankook tires, and at the front, together with the McPherson strut suspension, there is a ventilated front disc with a single pot floating caliper, running Hankook tires, and tire size is 175/60 series R15. So actually, for a car of this size and build, 15-inch tires are actually quite a bonus, yeah, to have 15-inch tires, which is very good, a plus point. And at the back, it runs on drums and a torsion beam arrangement. So this torsion beam is very familiar to Perodua. Looks very familiar from the previous models, the carry forward, and the drum brakes are adequate. Okay, we will be taking this car up the mountain and we'll see how it performs. So this type of arrangement is pretty standard for cars of this nature, yeah, having a torsion beam at the back and McPherson struts in the front. Okay, at the rear there is a unlock hatch and latch, sorry, and you can open the back part of it. It's a very small boot. I don't know what is the capacity, but it's pretty small. You can put maybe 2 overnight bags, and they give you a safety triangle, and we don't know where to put it. But looking inside there is a space saver spare tire. Okay, so that's it for the boot, and of course that is your tether for ISOFIX, and there is a tonneau cover that allows you to hide your things. Okay, so much for the back part, and let's move to the front. Okay, I'm locking the car again, and let's go to the front and let's see. Okay, if you just pull the handle, nothing happens. I'm not touching the key, yeah? Just press this button and you can get in. So it's keyless entry, but you have to push the button, yeah? Now, having a quick look at the inside, you can see this is very familiar, yeah? Looks very much like the Beza. In fact, the Beza and this car are built on the same platform. So you see a steering wheel, yeah, it's all urethane, yeah, or plastic, soft plastic, and then you have a steering, no adjustment, and there's no keyhole, so you know it is a keyless start. Why? Because you also see an engine start stop, and good, they have a mirror control. This is very Toyota, yeah. Used to have this in the Corollas many years ago. And of course there's traction control on and off, and along the sides you have a bit of aluminum colored plastic for your 4 power windows, and the door lock handle is here. There's one on this side and the other side. I have not seen a central locking knob or button, but anyway, that's not important. We also have the most important one, the refuel lever here. You pull the lever to unlock the fuel lid, and let's just look at the seats. They are pretty comfortable. I've sat in them and they can fit me, but of course the side blades here are made a bit wider, so they can actually accommodate bigger and rounder people. This is a very nice white or gray stitching, gives it a bit of character, and the seat material, even though it's fabric, has got different texture and different material. Okay, so there again you have the very famous Perodua anti-snatch handbag hook, yeah. Okay, so without further ado, oh yeah, one more thing I forgot, and the seat controls are what you call mechanical. There is the rake at the top, and then there's the seat height, so you can adjust the height and the rake, and of course the reach is adjusted by that little plastic covered handle at the bottom. Now at the bottom here you see 2 pedals and they are rubber. There's no footrest, and it could do with a footrest, and the only place you can brace your knee is on that little cowling that is sticking out there, yeah, in front of the gear stick that you see. And over here you have a little cubby hole, although I don't know what use it can be. You can put your smart tag lah. Okay, let's start the car because it's a very hot day. So as usual, you step on the brakes, and this is the meter. Okay, inside the car, let's slide the seat back a bit. Car is started. Okay, the seat slides quite far back, so you can drive this car if you're a 6-footer, yeah. I can't even reach the pedals at full reach. Maybe I'm not so tall after all. Okay, so in terms of the instrument panel, you can see the seatbelt reminder telling me, of course you're not moving the car, so I don't need my seatbelts on. The rev counter is on the left. It's a sort of a linear measurement. I'm not too happy about it, but anyway, for a car like this, you don't worry so much about the revs. The speedometer is big. It goes all the way to 200. We will be testing the top speed, but I can tell you it's around 150 to 160. And then down there you have, on the right, you have your fuel gauge. On the left, on the right here, you can see up to the top is F, and down there is E, and we have about 3 bars and 86 kilometers left. Okay, to tell you a secret, we've actually tested the car when we're doing the we're doing the walk around. Okay, this is where you turn off your meter and you can check. This is your odometer. The car has done 3,000 kilometers and trip is done 275 kilometers, and average is 17.8 kilometers per liter. That's not bad, considering all the hard driving that we've done. And also, this is the CFC, constant or whatever, continuous fuel consumption. We are not traveling, so it doesn't show anything. And of course, on the right here, you have your traction control off switch it off. What happens? Yeah, it says TRC off at the bottom there. Okay, then you have your engine stop start button and your mirror adjustment, and of course you have your lights and your wiper in the standard position. Steering wheel is very standard looking, no switches at all. Yeah, now the steering is not adjustable for reach or height. Not a good point, but well, this is an entry-level car, but I think it shouldn't be too much trouble to put in, right? Yeah, I think to really care about your customer, you should make sure they can sit properly. I could find a reasonable driving position, but it's not easy to do that. Okay, so here is the aircon controls. They're mechanical and manual. Aircon switch, temperature switch, your aircon speed, and where you want the air to go. Then you have your close your vent, open your vent. Okay, so then you have a very simple radio, lots of switches, but basically it's on off, and then you have your preset stations, and then you tune your radio. In terms of aircon, you have the central louvers and also the side louvers, one for the driver and one for the co-driver, and one in the middle is shared. The dash panel is hard plastic, and there's an airbag there and an airbag in the steering wheel, so that makes 2 airbags and nothing else. Remember, this is an entry-level car, so this looks very familiar. It looks very much like the Beza, and here is your glove compartment. Very simple, and that's the passenger side. Okay, so the mandatory, oh my god, handles are there, and there are only 3. Driver's side, they don't have it. Yeah, okay, they don't need it. So this is smart people building a smart car. That's what they say. All right, so the gear stick down there, you have your power socket, and then you have a very small little console with very shallow receptacles. You can't put much here except for the one at the back. There's a little hole there. I have a key there because I parked a car in Perodua. And then you have 2 bottle holders here, and that's where I put my smart tag. Okay, so in terms of the gear shift, you have your P, which is what we are in: park, reverse, neutral. Now this is an interesting part: D4, 3 and 2. So you can actually shift from, if you put your car in 2, you get from first gear to second gear, and that's it. You won't go any further. So this is the limiting factor of the gear shift. Yeah, is to limit the gear you're in. Very good for climbing up and downhill, because if you're going downhill and you're not sure about your brakes, you put it into 2 and it will never go beyond second gear, so it will hold the gear in that. So very good for mountain climbing, because then you can select the gears and roll the gear shift like a manual. So this is the advantage that this gearbox has. It's a 4-speed automatic. Yeah, and the gear shift, they make it long because so you can reach it with your hand up here. Yeah, If it's short, it'll be very far down, and the handbrake is mechanical, which is kind of like standard. So now aircon is running, the car is cool, and let's go to the back seat. Okay, the back is interesting. The rear doors open quite wide, and so the door orifice or door opening is right up to the fenders at the back, and so it's a very wide opening door. You can put in a lot of wide stuff. And looking at the seat, is the same type of material with the stitching, and it is a bench seat at the back. And if you want to put it down, yes, you can. The whole seat has to come down. Okay, you have to open here and you have to open that side, and you probably need to do twice because you need to have someone on that side. Yeah, and of course there are the isofix points, anchors down here. You can put 2 child seats in here. Very thoughtful of Perodua. And at the back there is plenty of headroom. Yeah, this is a hatch and it's made nice and high with 1.5 something meters of height. Is pretty good. I'm sitting inside here and looking up there. Look, there's plenty of room. Yeah, and there are seat belts for 3. Now, seat belt anchors are not adjustable. Headrest height is adjustable, and of course there is the tapao hook. There are 2 of them. Yeah, and one on this side and one on that side. And here again is the very special Perodua only anti-snatch handbag hook. Yeah, pretty nice. And here's another view of the center console, and all the way up. That's my camera mount that you just saw. And over there you see this is the front dashboard and the steering cockpit area. So looks pretty nice. Okay, mind you, all that is hard plastic, but I have a newfound respect for hard plastic. Okay, so in terms of leg room, pretty nice. They have that hole underneath the seat that you can put your shoes in. And I'm sitting, I set the seat to where I normally sit, and I'm sitting at the back now. I have about 5 inches of room, knee room. Okay, so there's plenty of room here. And if you ask me, yes, you can sit 4 people quite comfortably in this car. 5 if you squeeze, but there are seat belts for 5. Yeah, so anyway, that's about it for the car. Let's take a look from the outside. Oh yeah, there is also a bottle holder at the back, one on each side. So alright guys, that's it for the Perodua Axia. We hope that you liked our walk around, and please stay tuned for our other videos and also videos on other cars. Thank you very much, you guys who have subscribed to us, and please do share with your friends. We need all the subscriptions we can get. Thank you very much for watching, and till we meet again, bye bye.